Oh man, today is such a great day, and let me tell you why. There's actually a few reasons. One, overnight, we hit 8,000 subscribers. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. To celebrate, I'm going to give away 5 sceneries. Now let me show you the scenery that I'm giving away. It is this pirate scenery here. If you want this scenery, make sure you're subscribed, and then you have to like and comment on this video. I'm just gonna pick 5 comments from this video that will win this pirate scenery. So if you wanna win this scenery, let me know in the comments. Comment down below, and I'm just going to pick 5 random people. Another reason why today is awesome is because I was able to, last night, get rank #1 global. This means for about an hour and a half, I was the highest ranked Clash of Clans player in the world, which is so sick. I used Fireball Lalo to get there. I went 320. 4 of my last 5 days that I've used Fireball Lalo, I went 320. One fail on one day was 306 was what I went that day. So 39 of my last 40 hits with Fireball Lalo have been triples. And today I'm going to show off the attacks. I'm actually just going to show them in replay form and break them down so that you guys can see what my thought process is. Maybe a little bit more tutorial-y, if that makes sense. And 2 of the raids specifically, I'm going to show my Warden either dies early or the fireball gets launched in a completely wrong direction, and I'm going to show you guys what I do to correct that and still come up with a triple after things go south. So that's definitely going to be useful information for anybody wanting to learn Fireball Lalo. But the last reason, maybe my favorite reason, that today is such a good day, and this is going to be controversial, and I'm going to give a huge shout out to Schizo. You the real MVP. I would not have realized that I could get to rank #1 if you wouldn't have 1-starred me yesterday. And the reason I'm going to twist the knife a little bit is because I'm not going to say for sure that this guy cheats and win trades, right? But to average 246 on defense for this entire month and 275 for the whole month of October is very fishy. And he's in a clan that they're kind of notorious for win trading and stuff. So I'm going to call you out for 1-starring me. Seriously, thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have realized I could get to rank #1. Let me show you the replay real quick while I talk about it. You win traders are ruining Legend League for anybody, so I do not care if it pisses people off that I'm twisting the knife here a little bit. I am so sick of people win trading. I went perfect 2 seasons ago, 8 days in a row, and I gained 64 trophies during that 8-day period, and everybody in the top 50 was pulling away from me at an insane rate because they were win trading. And so after that, I just decided I was going to quit. And this is what makes it very satisfying. I have not even really been trying this season. I've been doing a whole bunch of different attacks. You guys can even look on my channel. I upload the attacks and I show you what I do. I've done some Zap Lalo on this. I've done some other weird attacks. I've done like the E-Titan attack, and obviously those attacks are all good, right? But not the attacks that I'm best with. And this base that you're seeing here is, I haven't even changed it since day 1 in Legend League. And the builder that gave me this base said specifically, do not use this base in High Legend League. It is meant to trip up amateur players. So that is probably salt in the wound, right? Oh man, that feels so good to get the 1-star defense. So again, shout out to Schizo for 1-starring me. You the real MVP. Wouldn't have realized I could get to rank #1. After he 1-starred me and I got all of my 8 defenses in yesterday, I was just outside of the top 200, and I was like, oh, sick. I'm just going to try and boost and get to rank #1 real quick. So again, shout out to you. He overgrowth the Town Hall 1 too many times and ended up not having enough left over at the end of triples. So with all of this out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the replays that got me to rank #1. All right, so the first replay that we're going to look at is this base here. Now, when I first come across the base in Legend League, I am looking to find a way to get value with my Flame Flinger and kind of decide where to put my Warden. This base obviously seems very anti-Flame Flinger, but if you look at this corner here, if I can put my Warden up kind of in this direction, he will tank the ground bow and the mortar here, and then I can put my Flame Flinger off down here, and the Flame Flinger will work its way down. I've got to worry about this one mortar here, but I have a Yeti in my army that I can stick there to deal with that, and then the Flame Flinger gets massive value, right? And then I'm going to stick my heroes down here to distract this ground X bow. So that's kind of what I'm looking for as I'm initially looking for a base, and I'm going to do something that is going to help make my Warden go up and to the right and have my Flame Flinger go down. And that is going to be, I'm going to put a baby dragon on this storage here so the baby dragon can clear this building, this building, this building, and then my Warden will kind of go up in that direction, right? By the way, always put a barbarian down before you put your Flame Flinger down. You definitely want to make sure there's no Teslas or ground skeleton traps or anything like that. Like you can see, my warden would have, he was actually heading down until that building died, and then he switches back up to the left. Now, if he had walked down all the way, he might have gone into like where the ricochet cannon and the expo were, and then he and the flame flinger would be heading in the same direction, which isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world, but you do want them to be separate if you can help it. And you can see the baby dragon's getting good value. I just used like 4 balloons to clear that mortar at the bottom. That way I didn't have to multitask when the flame flinger was getting down there. But you can see it getting some insane value, right? And then I just used my fireball. So my fireball actually launches way earlier here. I was wanting to get the clan castle. So at this point, I'm like, oh boy, I just need my flame flinger to get a whole bunch of value. I'm going to put my heroes down here to tank this ground expo. I still have my royal champion. The royal champion, I'm confident that I can get the town hall with my king and queen and then like the ice golem and stuff. So I want my royal champion to snipe some of these big hard-hitting defenses on the back end so that when I'm out of spells, I don't have to worry about my warden dying still. So that's kind of the plan that I came up with when I didn't get the fireball that I wanted. And we're going to actually just go ×1 here. By the way, turn your sound on when you play. I can hear when the clan castle, like, it makes that trumpet noise or whatever it is, and I knew that the warden was by the clan castle, so I was able to quickly invis him and put like a poison down. Obviously, the poison ends up kind of being a waste because like, oh crap. But my warden might have died if I wasn't listening to the sound of like the trumpets or whatever when the clan castle leaves. And I think I barely get the town hall with my heroes here. And you can see my warden still, man, he's like just taking a beating up there. I do invest a rage with my heroes down here because I want them to get the monolith and the town hall and stuff. And actually, I think on this raid, I use my royal champion to help get the... Oh, no, I do put my royal champion up there because I want her to get those hard-hitting defenses. And the rage is triggered, but at this point, there's nothing left, right? I know that the flame flinger, at least the super minions and stuff, can help get the town hall if my queen can't get it, but the queen does get it. I probably, if I wanted to, could have swagged my Lalo this raid. But I was trying to hurry and get the raids in because I was boosting to try and get to rank #1. So I just wanted the attacks to be over with as quickly as I could. But you can just see how much stuff is left over, right? This base is absolutely crushed. I'm going to try and show some raids where I do make some small mistakes and things. That way I can show you guys what not to do. But really, honestly, for the most part, this day was pretty clean. All right, the second base that we're going to look at is Tom, and he is like one of the family clans from like that Sultan group of clans or whatever they are. Always satisfying to triple them. These freaking win traders are ruining the Legend League experience for everybody. So, I could probably rant about that forever. Just don't even care to try because of it. Anyway, again, I bring a Yeti specifically for these mortars because I don't have rocket balloons with this army, right, to snipe them. So I bring a Yeti just to take down these mortars so that my flame flinger can get value. So I put the Yeti right here. I actually do bring a couple of balloons. They're actually more used. I want to search for Teslas more so than actually get that mortar with the balloons. So that was the purpose of those. And then to also maybe help have the Yeti clear things up a little bit more quickly. My fireball, ideally I want to try and get the town hall or the clan castle. So I want to hit this rage tower here. But the fireball ends up not hitting what I wanted it to. There's a lot of damage in this area, right? The monolith is kind of scary for the warden. Monolith is always a scary target. If your warden is heading towards a monolith, just focus on the warden. If you can keep your warden alive the whole raid, that's going to be ideal and increase your chances of 3-starring more than really paying attention to anything else. Flame Flinger can still get good value even if it only gets like 3 or 4 buildings. I do put my heroes up here to distract that ground expo so that my Flame Flinger can get more value. And I want my Flame Flinger to kind of head down. I want my king and my queen to get rid of that compartment where the eagle is. Again, I have my sound on, and I put the poison down because I want to be able to hear when the clan castle is triggered, right? So then the Flame Flinger is going to head down, going to get good value. My heroes clean up that eagle compartment there, so I don't have to worry about the eagle anymore, which is nice. Now I've just got to focus on my warden with this monolith, and that's like the only scary thing left. And I think I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to invis. One thing you don't want to do is launch your fireball while your warden's attacking a defense. One of two things will happen. Either you're going to invis the defense to get your fireball to where you want it to go, and then your warden's going to go in a completely different direction, or you're going to launch the fireball and kill the defense and all the buildings in that area, and then your warden's going to get in an area to where you don't want to go anyway. So I want to wait until my warden's attacking a non-defensive structure when I launch my fireball. That's always the goal. And these buildings where they're one shot, obviously that's not a great target, right? So I want to wait until he's on this elixir storage or something. That way I know I don't have to worry about it too much. And I think maybe I actually just invis right here. Yeah, I just hit the town hall. So I still get a pretty good fireball, honestly. And then I invis my warden so that he can do that. Flame Flinger got insane value. I still have my Royal Champion. I sent her up there. I'm sending my Royal Champion to the areas that are the most threatening for my Warden, like the Ricochet Cannon, the enemy Royal Champion, the stuff that can be raged up over there. The Rage Tower's dead now, but that's always where I send my Royal Champion. Just want her to deal with the things that are going to be hardest for my Warden to deal with. And again, we're just going to go ahead and just ×2 for the rest of this. The Super Minions clean up the... And I'm just using my Lalo here because I want to speed things up. I really probably could have swagged my Lalo this raid too, because you can see when the time starts, I had like a minute left when this raid ends. And I still end up swagging spells and stuff. This army's nuts. It really is so good. All right, the third base that we're going to be looking at is this one. And this one's honestly kind of tricky. I've never seen this base before, which is always... I honestly kind of enjoy that a little bit, because then I have to kind of problem solve on the fly and come up with a plan that I've never had to execute before, right? I know that if I can deal with these 4 mortars on this bottom side, that my Flame Flinger is going to get a ton of value. So that's kind of I really like the Flame Flinger and the Warden. If you can just take advantage of those 2 things, the rest of the attack is really easy. So I think I put a Yeti down here, to get this mortar taken care of. If the Yeti dies, that's honestly fine with me, because the Yeti might as well get that mortar. And then the only other thing that I need to worry about is this Ground Expo over here. And I don't know, sometimes you're going to see me, I'm going to choose, right? Because your ability to multitask is also a resource that you have to keep in mind during these raids. And sometimes you have to decide, I'm just going to have to let my Flame Flinger die so that I can focus on my Warden and just make sure that he doesn't die. So that actually is what I do here. After this, I realized my Flame Flinger is going up to this cannon up here to the left. I was hoping he'd kind of go towards the mortar and I could distract it. But as soon as I see the Flame Flinger heading up that way, I'm like, I'm just going to have to let it die because my Warden is under threat right now. Right here, this is where I'm deciding I'm just going to let my Flame Flinger die so I can focus on my Warden. I don't want to have to, and then I'm like, I'm just going to launch a Fireball now. Make sure my Warden doesn't die. There's a Ricochet Cannon that can kill him. There's a Raged Up Inferno Tower here too. So focusing on my Warden, I know my Flame Flinger is going to die. I just accept that fact. And then I can't even remember where I put my heroes. I wait a little bit so that my Warden goes down a little bit further, and then I think I use a Baby Dragon and some balloons right here to get this barracks, so that I can put my king down here and funnel them in towards the town hall area. I want my heroes to get the town hall here. And then my Warden can easily clear all the rest of this stuff. The only thing that I'm worried about for my Warden now is the enemy king and then this single Inferno Tower. Nothing else is really that threatening to raged up healers, right? So I send my heroes in there. I wall break them in. I use a couple more balloons to take out this cannon up here so that I know my king doesn't walk up in that direction. At least I'm pretty sure I do. If I didn't, I should have. Maybe I didn't. Okay. Oh, well, I guess the Spiky Ball gets it either way. And I see the 1 rocket balloon here, and I'm like, I don't think 1 rocket balloon can kill my Warden, so I'm not going to worry about it. I use my Queen ability here. I just want them to get the Town Hall. At this point, I know that the most threatening area for my Warden is right here. So I want my Royal Champion, hopefully, to trigger the Rage Tower early so that my Warden doesn't have to deal with it. But I also know that I have 2 invisibility spells, an Earthquake, and a Rage. So even if my Warden does have to deal with that section, it's not that scary. I had a lot of spells left over, so I don't have to worry about that much. But I still want to deal with as much of that section as I possibly can, right, with my Royal Champion. That way I don't have to have my Warden deal with it. And you can see Royal Champion takes out 2 Expos and the multi-Archer Tower. So literally exactly what I really needed from her. And again, I need to make sure that my Warden doesn't die to that single Inferno, and then this is a pretty easy. And you can see I'm kind of swagging my Lalo. I put him in just for... I put my Lalo in specifically here. This is kind of a trick that I don't think a lot of people realize. I don't want my Warden to focus on these trash buildings. I've got units to clean those up. If you put 4 balloons down, your Warden will retarget to a defense. So that's why I started my Lalo down here. I want my Warden to target the defenses with the Lalo. Not waste time on the trash buildings. So we go, yeah, we clean up the rest of this base. This base is crushed too. You can see how much stuff I've got left. Anyway, let's keep going, and we'll get on to the next replay. I think I'm just going to show one more replay, which I think I'm going to try and find the one where my Warden died. Okay, so I lied. I thought that the attack that my Warden died on was during this day, but it was the day before using a completely different attack. So I don't have one today where I had my Warden die. But anyway, on this base... you can see when the mortars are right at the edge like this or like this, they're very easy to deal with so that you can get value of their Flame Flinger, right? You can just put a few balloons down right here and get this one. You can put a Yeti over here and deal with this one. So that's what I do. I use a few balloons on the mortar on the right, and then I put my Warden onto the left-hand side. Now, when you're looking at a base like this, the Poison Towers aren't necessarily very scary for the Warden. They just slow him down more than anything. But the one thing that is scary is all of the single Infernos and the Monolith. So I just want to maybe fireball this builder hut so that I can get the eagle, scatter, poison tower, inferno, mono. Like that's a sick fireball, right? That's ideal if I can get that. Now the CCs that are scary. The only CCs that are really scary for the Warden are Headhunters and the Super Minions, because they can kind of out DPS a Rage if you're not quick enough and you're not quick enough to drop your poison. If you have Ice Golems or Dragons or a Super Dragon or anything like that, really they're very easy. You almost don't even have to react. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. That's why I like to have the sound turned on. Again, I probably said that 5 times today. So that I can see if it's Super Minions or if it's Headhunters or anything, and I know what I need to do. If I need to make my Warden invisible, then great. By the way, wait till your Flame Flinger is getting really close to the mortar before, or there's no defenses around. I put a Yeti here to get that mortar out of the way, and you can see this guy tried to use a little trick with the sweeper here in order to trick the fireball, but it didn't work. Haha. So I deal with that. At this point, I want to get as much value with my Flame Flinger as possible, and I'm going to use my heroes to allow me to do that. I put my King and my Queen here to tank for the Flame Flinger. That way it can still get value, and I really should have funneled better. I was hoping my Queen would go up this way, or my King, I mean, but I put him too far to the left, so that was a mistake on my part. He still gets a sick Earthquake Boots off, though. He's going to clear some of these trash buildings down here first. I should have put a minion or 2 down there to clean up those trash buildings too anyway. So yeah, I just want to... You're going to see, as soon as my Warden is attacking a non-defensive structure, I'm just going to fireball. Okay, I guess I get the Monolith instead because the Scatter's already dead. Okay, so I hear the Clan Castle come out and it's the Headhunter, so I quickly drop my poison. That way I don't have to worry about it. I send my Royal Champion from that side to get the Town Hall. That's the only thing that really worries me the rest of this raid is the Town Hall. So I rage up my Warden too to make sure that goes down. I probably could have swagged my Lalo this raid too if I really wanted to, but again, I was just trying to hurry up with the attacks. And you can see I always have so much stuff left over at the end. If you can keep... I would do a whole bunch of friendly challenges to get better at this attack. Focus on keeping your Warden alive and getting the Fireball to go where you want it to, keeping your Flame Flinger alive, and if you could do those 2 things, I mean, this attack becomes so easy. Just, your King and Queen really don't need to even get insane value. Your Royal Champion, use her to get rid of some of the really hairy or the scary stuff that will mess with your Warden kind of on the back end of the base. But really, this attack is not as difficult as people make it seem. Man, it's so good. Like, I probably swagged like 600... Well, I could have if I wasn't hurried, but I probably could have swagged like 600 space worth of units today. And this is against the highest people in the world, right? So these aren't like scrub bases. These are the toughest bases that you're going to come across. Anyway, that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys learned something. It was awesome to get to rank 1. Finally got the 6 screenshot that I was hoping for a while. I haven't really tried super hard, but anyway, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys next time.